It did feel really nice to be back in the saddle. It does feel a little weird for me to be the first one to talk.
Yeah, right?
Hello.
Congrats.
And welcome to Torchlit Tavern. I'm Katie Mischief, your host, and this is Siren's Call. It's going to be the session 0 today of my new game that is pirate-based. We're doing pirates, baby.
We're pirates.
We're pirates, baby.
Yeah, pirates.
Arr.
Obviously, I am going to have some players with me, but I will be DMing. A weird switch since we don't have Jameson. He has to,
Just to do baby things.
be a father and stuff in the beginning.
Fucking copycat bitch.
He's taking his
Paternity leave.
paternity leave, so in that time,
Yeah, he's taking his paternity leave, and since Jeff has refused to knock me up, I guess now I'm in charge of this.
I have just refused.
Yeah, it's quite rude. Refused. He's like, I can't. I'm a girl.
That's what you didn't know about me.
So welcome to Siren's Call. This is going to be a real play loosely 5th edition podcast. Today I will be playing Yahtzee. I don't care if he's used it before. I'm going to be playing Yahtzee under the table.
You haven't used it before.
Yahtzee.
And playing with me today will be, or creating a character with me today will be,
And session 0ing today,
Ew.
it's Jeff.
That one sounded
Wet.
so weird.
it did. It was,
That sounded more like a bottle.
Yeah. It was like you uncorked something.
Yeah.
Because it's not carbonated.
Unfortunate.
Hey, everybody, I'm Jeff. Your Twitch master, and... Oh, wait, wrong thing. I'm just here to play a brand new game. Yo-ho, me hearties. Yo-ho.
And also apparently a girl.
Yeah, but that's not actually new.
Jeff's a girl. I won't be playing a girl. Jeff's a girl.
I'm not surprised, but I am hurt.
Yeah.
That I didn't know this.
Most definitely. Let's go.
Fuck.
I sent him the meme. I shouldn't have sent him the meme.
Whew. Huh. That one took the wind out of me. Hey guys, it's Ryan. I'm back from my little hiatus, hopefully, for now. And yeah, so I am here to create a character for Katie's scary pirate adventure.
The name of it is Siren's Call. It's the name of the ship.
Didn't know that, but now I know.
For now.
Yarr.
Gonna rename the ship.
You're not going to rename the ship.
I could scuttle it.
He could always scuttle it.
And also playing,
Look, all I'm saying is one bad roll by the saboteur in the powder cache, and we're going to have to rename the podcast. If you're really stuck on that, it's the name of the ship thing. It is I, Mitch. I am here, and I'm trying to die.
He is succeeding.
Pneumonia or some shit. I don't know. We'll see. I'm an orc. I'm an orc with a handgun. I blow shit up. That is as far as I've gotten.
He already has a basic idea of his character.
that didn't take very long.
Oh, I have a name. I am Jean-Pierre.
Oh,
Jean-Pierre?
Jean-Pierre. Like Jean-Pierre, but French. Yeah, Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre.
I love it.
I do like it.
Yeah, that would definitely be Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre, orcish saboteur. Second generation
Whore.
Valorian immigrant.
Sorry.
No, that's my mother. No.
Ha!
Second generation full-blooded orc Valorian immigrant from the place where the orcs come from.
Orkville.
Canoria?
Word. Just to settle in and to make some notes for the listener, I don't know where this will be released. It could be Patreon content. It could be for everyone. Who knows? But what I do know is that I did not make this world. We are going to be playing in the same world, maybe not at the same time, but in the same world as our current campaign.
What?
And I didn't write this world, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me to create something in Jay's world, but I'm up to the challenge, and I definitely think that I've made something that will not make too many real world changes onto his world that he wouldn't approve of, because Lord knows I have not asked him for any input. I've decided that what I'm writing is correct, and if he's wrong, he'll find out when he listens.
If he's wrong. Not if you're wrong.
I love that.
If he's wrong.
I love that very much.
If he's wrong, he'll find out when he listens, and he'll have to create whatever he needs to create to make it work. I think I've made something really fun here, something that we're going to get to make our signature dick jokes, but also maybe I'll get to just have to kill everyone with a kraken. And get to have to was just a fun thing for me to add in there.
Cheers.
Who wants to go first on discussing their character ideas, any questions that you have, and maybe we'll go into what your character knows going into it?
I feel like I'm probably the most prepared. So,
Go for it, bud.
Shit, I hope so.
Yeah.
You've had unregulated access to me the whole time.
not only have I had unregulated access, but I also was the only one who just kind of had some free time at work to jump to it.
I got paid to make this campaign.
So did I.
Tell me about your character.
So I was thinking I wanted to play a lizard folk, as we will be in the seas and right around the mountain ranges on the other side of all the conflicts that are happening in our campaign are the areas where most of the lizard folk in Jay's world live. So I thought I would bring one of those to the table. Not one specifically from the cold scales, but from a similar region. So that's what I want to bring, a lizard folk. And I was thinking bard. I wanted to try to play a little bit with the 2024 rules, at least for the rules of how the classes play. I thought it'd be interesting. So I'm going to try to play a 2024 bard, specifically a College of Dance.
It's going to be a real shame that this isn't video captured, because I'm sure you'll be doing a lot of fun moves in your chair.
Sure. Chair moves.
Love that for you.
Little lizard folk dancing. What area of the map are you going to say you're from? Because all of our listeners are able to look at the map on torchlittavern.com under the campaigns.
Shit, we got a map?
We can look at the map of Shar, and so can our listeners. So if you would like to explain to us where on that map you come from.
So, yeah, of course, what I've been led to believe is there's a mountain range that separates the eastern half of Shar, and specifically on the other side of that is the scale swamps, the troll moors, dragon cliff. These are the areas in which the most of the lizard folk come from. The scale swamps, very specifically, are the traditional homes of the cold scales, but there are other areas that the lizard folk come from. As I said, I don't imagine I've made a cold scale. I think he's just from a place over there in Marista specifically.
Marastia? That's how I thought it was.
You're right. It is Marastia.
I would venture to say that you are from Damon Point.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
Damon. Gross.
I'm from Matt Damon Point.
Since you are, used to being near the ocean, I would say that that's probably where you are from.
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of explain what kind of a lizard folk he looks like? Is he more crocodilian?
So, yes, absolutely. Lizard folk in the lore and even in kind of the way they play, they already have a very semi-aquatic element to them. So, sticking with that, my mind pictures this lizard folk somewhere between being very crocodilian and potentially, and this is going to be a weird in the cut reference, but having a very similar shape to the 2000s American Godzilla, at least in the head shape.
Square.
Yeah, kind of squarish, but I think a little bit more crocodilian.
I thought saltwater crocodile, but I could add that in to my mental picture.
Godzilla?
I think if you wanted additional good references, look up the Sucus line of extinct speech. He's like Caprasuchus and Sarcosuchus. There were a lot of very box-headed crocodilians with different bioforms.
He's right, there are. I also like to watch a lot of things about animals.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah. I would like to know what kind of dice you're using for this. I want to know what character dice you have. I will say that the captain has a different set of dice than my DM dice. I will have a separate set of dice for the captain than the rest of the NPCs and monsters. I will be using my regular dice for them, which is the dice that I used for the other campaign. But so good, a good dice. But hopefully our captain, if it turns out that my new dice are very bad, then that will be my DM dice. I will survive.
I have black metal dice that I've decided to use,
Okay.
or black and gray metal dice.
So would you say in your background, can you tell me a little bit about your backstory?
Yeah. In my mind, this character I made, who's at this point I'm going with the name Tuck, and that's a little tongue-in-cheek reference
2.
to the crocodile that Captain Hook is afraid of.
Love that. Love that. Continue.
Yeah. Whose name is actually TikTok, and I promise you I Googled it to check. But I'm going to find a funner way to say it.
I was going to say, I hate saying it, but I do like it.
But, anywho's, I see Talk, which will be the easier way to abbreviate his name,
Mr. Talk.
as a person who spent a lot of his life around the ocean. I like the idea of him being in Damon Point. I think before he, started being a pirate or a privateer or whatever you want to call it, he was already well acquainted with the sea. He's big, brawny, and surprisingly quiet. Very sort of pensive. Big sort of crocodilian, somewhat square head, like some light spinach that goes down his back, and probably not in any too vibrant, crazy colors. I think he's got a couple of series of blues that fleck up in different areas, like maybe around his eyes, or that appear in just different pieces, but he's mostly this sort of like green-gray, I think. I think that suits him the most.
I agree. Why is he a privateer?
I imagine he's a privateer because there's probably some social stigma for lizard folk. Even if that's not in the area he came from, I think it's a combination of things. I think he decided he wanted to go out and kind of like really sail, and that led him into the job of being a privateer, because I think privateer work was more accepting. They're like, we don't really care how you look or where you come from or any of that shit. He didn't need to be decorated or
It's can you do the job, kind of.
right. And he can do the fucking job. I also decided, because you asked when we made the characters, to decide what job he does on the boat.
That was going to be my next question. What is his occupation?
He's a helmsman.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, as a helmsman, you're the guy who's, this is going to oversimplify it, and for any helmsman out there, I'm sorry, but you're the guy who steers the boat.
Steers the boat.
Steers the boat. You're the one who understands how the ocean moves and when to turn into waves, when to turn out of them, how to ride current properly. There's a lot of like understanding the thing you're on that is a moving terrain involved in being a helmsman, as well as like understanding how the wind is moving and changing, because of course these are sailboats as well. Being able to kind of like have some idea of what weather's coming. So I think those are the kind of skills that he has from a life of being kind of a ocean dweller,
Ocean man. Sorry.
a man of the sea.
What makes him the best choice for helmsman? What makes you hired onto the ship? What do you think makes this character stand out in ability?
I think that, so as I said, I decided to make him a dancer bard, and I think that his skill is his rhythm, because the sea moves with a certain rhythm that he understands. His sea legs are strong. He understands the ebb and the flow, the sink of the waves, the patterning that comes out on the open ocean. something that you really need to have a good feel for, and it's something that's super hard to teach. And so I think that's what makes him good at the job. Like, oh, you should hire this guy because nobody can feel the way the ocean's moving better than he can.
All right. Do you have a character sheet that's leveled up to level 3 and has equipment and everything ready to go? Do you have any questions on it?
I do have a character sheet. I have all my stats. It is worth noting that Talk is not a smart man, but surprisingly charismatic. Let me look at my inventory because I don't think I did. I think I just went with basic inventory. If you want to allow different than that, do let me know. I don't have any questions.
I think something that you should add to your character sheet into your equipment is some sort of ocean-themed oddity with some sort of small mystical power. If you want to create something like that, like make something, you will have a small magical item with some sort of mystical power. Not anything game breaking, obviously, but I think kind of leaning into the character doing most of his good work based on feel, it should be something along those lines.
Absolutely. Oh, I also decided to go with the marine background.
Okay.
So that's worth noting because backgrounds actually do kind of play in more than people give them credit for sometimes. Given the marine background, that also allows me to move twice the normal amount of time in hours each day before being subject to being forced march. And I can automatically find a safe route to land a boat on shore.
Any other big questions before we move on to Ryan?
I don't believe so.
All right. Ryan, tell me a bit about your character.
Hi, Katie. Well, character I've made up here is a Shadar Kai.
Very edgelord from you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited when you sent that in the group chat. That's what you were thinking.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very excited to play with this race 'cause I've never messed around with it before, so very excited about that. Shadar Kai, their name is Reza Skoogle. And I have built a wizard. We have built to level 3, so specifically a divination wizard.
I'm also pretty excited to play with that. I think divination can be really, really fun to play if you have a lot of DM involvement.
Mhm.
And I do intend to give a lot of DM involvement. We're going to do a lot of reading the stars, we can even kind of discuss going into more second edition rules
Mhm.
of divination,
Perfect.
um, depending on how the 5th edition plays. If we don't like it, then we'll.
As soon as you said as soon as you're like, "Oh, yeah, no, I'm interested in doing, like, a pirate kinda thing," I was like, "Okay, I want to make, like, a soothsayer kinda character." So I was like, "Okay, let's mess around with divination wizard and see how close that gets," and yeah, no, I'm just using the standard rules for now, but we may play around with that depending on how much we like it, so.
Yeah. What is your reasoning for being a privateer?
So I Reza was initially just your regular role. Shatterkire basically drow, but took off from kind of set out on their own from the whole Underdark and whatnot. And as a I don't know teen to young adult drow found themselves drawn to the sea, and they become a sailor of sorts, and he has set out on that and gone and became a sailor, was a sailor for a few years, sailed on a bunch of different ships. But, you know, it is dangerous on the sea and you tend to die sometimes on. So they died or got very close to death when approached by, I think, in their last moments by the Raven Queen and given the offer to, stay alive, back to life, but you gotta do my bidding. I have done.
I like that. And I think that you also have kind of the opportunity to later multi-class into a warlock of the Raven Queen. I have been a DM for Raven Queen involvement before with Jeff's character. I like the idea better that you did die.
Perfect.
You did die. I think it's up to you how you want that manner of death to be.
I do believe that I went overboard. I want to say the appearance is maybe somewhat waterlogged. It was definitely a drow that was a dark-skinned drow and then died and is now a light-skinned drow.
Yeah, I like that. I think you can also have a lot of funny encounters with each other because you're still, a privateer,
Yeah,
but now you're also afraid of drowning.
yeah. I do fully have the sailor background.
Yeah. I like that. I think that could be really good. Do you have any questions on equipment or
The only thing that I have, other than like the basic equipment that it gives us, I have specifically pulled a scimitar because I do want them to run around with a scimitar while they are more of a wizarding class. They're not carrying around a staff. I want to say that he's carrying around a wand that is a bone wand that he was resurrected with, like found it on his person when he was resurrected.
I would like that to be a +1
Okay,
weapon. That was found on you when you awoke. That is a gift from the Raven Queen.
exactly.
However,
My thoughts exactly.
that is not a weapon that you can get rid of. It is bound to you. It is a +1 weapon, and I think I will be using it as a DM. Since this is a session 0, I kind of want to be upfront and make sure that you guys know this is how I want to involve you in the campaign and make it dynamic.
Mhm.
The wand will speak to you.
Straight up, this is the exact idea I had for the one. I'm not communing specifically with the Raven Queen,
No.
but she is giving me signals and vibes based off the one.
Vibes.
And it's not the voice of the Raven Queen coming out, but you will definitely be getting specific direction from the Raven Queen and from this wand, which also it is a blessing, right? Because it is the +1. It is a free +1 item that you are getting, but it is also a cursed item as you cannot get rid of it.
Yeah.
You have found probably even if you leave it in the room, you'll check your pocket and it'll be on your person.
Oh, it doesn't get a pocket. It's got its own special sheet.
Yeah. It is on your person.
It goes in his butt.
Yes.
It's got its sheath and it is in it.
Butt gear.
It is always on your person, even if you don't want it to be. But this you are also probably aware, if not a little bit paranoid, that this also means that the weapon is hearing and seeing everything that you are.
Yeah, no, it is the handle of the wand is fully carved into the head of Grape.
Yeah. It is a very neat item, but it's going to be an easy plot point for me. So thank you for writing that in.
You're welcome.
What is your job? What is your occupation upon this craft? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but kind of delve into it. Why are you good at it? Why were you the one chosen over other applicants?
Yes, Reza specifically was, they were brought back to life, and their whole thing has been to go back to what I was doing, but now I've got Raven Queen in the ear every now and then to go back to my sailoring, privateering life, and the wand specific, like the eyes of the raven on it. I want to say it kind of flashes whenever it's like, hey, there's a thing going on over here, or you should probably go and look at this. It has specifically directed Reza to the Siren's Call.
I think we're going to reskin that wand to be. I want to keep the +1. I think I do want it to be like a wand of warning,
Okay.
similar to my longsword of warning in the campaign.
Mhm.
I know you cannot be surprised. The warning ability will be able to kind of add that extra edge to the divination that you bring to the table.
It's definitely more divination flavor, so thank you for that.
I think that gives you an edge.
I do feel that what Reza knows is Reza's been all over the ship. They've been a crewman, they've been the regular person, they've been Jeffrey. What was your thing?
Helmsman.
They've been a helmsman. They've done all that. They're familiar with the ship, and they feel that their job should be bosun.
Yeah, explain to me what a bosun does.
Yes, the bosun is basically the ship's officer in charge of the equipment and the crew. And this was maybe not to everyone's excitement, but they were not the original bosun. I want to say they're not the original bosun on the ship, but I do want to say that they may be killed to get their way. The ship already has a bosun. He's gone missing, and we need one. And this guy's here, so let's take this guy.
Yeah, I also like that. I even have a character written out of the previous bosun. So
Perfect.
yeah, I didn't even know that we were ready for that. I didn't know we were on the mind meld level like that.
I know, this is very good for me so far.
Yeah, I already have a bosun that is easily written off, and the secrets that you will know will be slightly different as someone that is based in magic, and your captain is a half-elf that is also known to the Raven Queen. She's not a follower, but known to the Raven Queen. So that will be, we'll go into that once we kind of make sure everybody's characters are ready, and then I'll kind of go into what each of your characters will know, either secrets about or whispers that you've heard about the ship, about the captain, about the first mate, etc.
Perfect. And I do think just because of the whole, my maybe slightly gruesome appearance and just the whole kind of gothy vibe of my Shadar Kai character, that maybe the rest of the crew is slightly intimidated by them and they're like, not questioning.
Or uncomfortable with, right?
Very comfortable, yeah.
We already have TikTok.
I do want them to listen to me. I am the bosun, they have to listen to me.
Right.
So I do want them to be somewhat unnerved by my character.
And I think with TikTok, basically, your character would feel uncomfortable around magic that he doesn't understand, especially because sometimes your character as Talk will feel something, but perhaps the bosun is telling you something else is coming, or that what you're predicting is wrong. And I think that we can have some tension, but tension that kind of makes a story there and kind of gives room for you guys to grow into friends and respecting one another, or causing friction and, figuring out how we're going to manage that. I'm not afraid of my PCs fighting each other, because in this scenario, right, we're privateers and that happened. But you do have a captain.
Yes, Reza definitely feels like more of a loner character that I built specifically. So to have him have to deal with people like that will be interesting.
Right. And so that's okay, because there is the built-in, I've made a captain character.
Yeah.
So I can, if I need to shut it down, I can shut it down in game instead of being like, hey guys, stop fighting each other. I think we can really make that work. Do you have any other questions, or do we want to move on to Mitch?
I think I'm good to move on at that.
All right. We'll come back and I'll tell you more of the different secrets that you would know.
Rad.
And things that your character would feel comfortable knowing, or comfortable with the other characters. From what you know, you are divination based. There are going to be some things that you just know.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited.
Me too. Mitch, tell me about your character.
I'm done.
Congrats, bud.
I finished. Ryan took long enough. I finished.
Nice.
Except for the stats part and stuff.
I'm so glad you got there.
I am a Kenorian orc, and part of Jay's world lore is that Kenoria's basically only export is military power projection. We give you orc, you give us stuff. And the specialty that my character has is saboteur. So getting into fortifications, getting into other ships, and scuttling ships, damaging walls, bringing down, points of structure, that sort of thing. More specifically, he's worked on ships because of where he is in the ports of Valeria, which I believe is the northwestern interior sea on Jay's map. I'm not looking at it, and I'm not gonna. You can't make me.
That's fine. We're actually going to be starting in Sea Vale. It is a little third nipple at the bottom. So maybe a micro penis on the bottom of Shar.
The third nipple's the best nipple.
Yeah. So the micro penis of Shar.
Shar's clit.
Towards the south, that is where we will be starting. It is a very large, very bustling port. And I will tell you all how you got there if you don't want to tell me yourself.
On a boat.
But I think it's kind of pretty obvious for most of us how we all got there. Yeah, on a boat.
So being a Kenorian orc, his profession and background is soldier. He does have rank in that as the engineering and saboteurs corps. He also assists with other cannonade and things. And he is applying to be the ship's cook because he loves cooking. It is his passion. It's what he loves to do.
He will not be getting that job, however.
And that's why he got stuck being the magazine master.
Yes, you will be in charge of munitions. You are balls deep in them cannons all the time. You are in charge of upkeep. You will be in charge of making sure that you make a proper requisition list every time you hit a new port. I'm not actually going to write it down We're not actually going to count munitions, but we'll just say that is your job and you are good at it.
Yeah. With military level of detail, because he has that history.
And what made you become a privateer?
I was hired.
Fair enough.
I'm a Canorian orc. Canorian orcs do work until they're not working anymore. As a sailing specific, effectively, mercenary for hire, that's just where I ended up, is on a boat to make money.
The first mate is also of orcish descent. He is a half-orc.
What a bitch.
One of his parents is a Canorian orc. This will be something that you know. It's probably part of the reason that you were hired, is because he is comfortable with Canorian orcs, because I'm going to say his mother was one. Mom was the orc. Dad was the human. He was into that sort of thing.
She's into weird shit.
They both are, you know? But it worked for them.
It's fair. It's fair.
That's what we're going with. It worked for them. Since you are Canorian, that is pretty close to primacy territory.
Yeah. Well, sort of. I believe in Jay's world, they have a pretty much neutral outreach to other armies, but they hire extensively through everyone. So it's very possible that I have kin in the primacy under contract.
Yes. And that is something that I want to put out there. You could run into people that you know that you will have to fight.
Be a fucking shame.
And you're going to have to blow up their ships.
God willing. Captain willing. God willing, Captain allowing.
Yeah, God willing, Captain allowing. It's happening. Dice rolling proper.
So I have left family open.
Okay.
Because I don't care. It's not particularly significant. The only thing that's a little bit unusual about Jean is he is full-blood Canorian, but he's from Valeria. So he's still a Canorian national. He's not a Canorian native, but he's a Canorian national, and that's why he has the obligate servitude to the Canorian military export complex.
Yes. Your family just moved to Valeria. Perhaps it was just what was the best financial move. Your dad got hired, maybe out of Seavale himself.
Yeah, I assume it's just where the contract terminated, you know?
Yeah, and that's where you guys settled down. I will say that I would say that perhaps your dad is still working on a ship somewhere, but he is pretty high up on whatever ship that he's in. Unlikely that you will have any interaction with him at all. I might bring him up. And your mom died of a sickness.
Sure.
Probably several years back. She was older and died. It happens.
Orcs, man. It happens.
Orcs die. Just like everybody else.
Attrition, man. That's just life, dude. Like,
yeah, people die.
It was weird she died from a bug and not a gunshot, to be honest. That's the only thing that made it weird.
Yeah, well, she lived to a ripe old age,
Yeah.
For an orc that she also did her service.
And that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
And that was odd, yeah.
But, I'm not going to say that you have this, big, open wound of your mom passing. She died of a sickness. It happens the end. You probably have a couple siblings. You're not close with them.
Yeah.
And it would be abnormal for you to be close with them.
Yeah.
Family is not something that for you is your siblings, right? Family is whoever you choose for it to be. You haven't chosen to be family with many people. You are goal-focused, I would say. Part of your military training is, they're not like whimsical quests as much as they are going to be to other players. They are jobs to be done.
It's pride. Straight up, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to do it efficiently, and it's going to get done, and no one will ever question that. It's a very pride and self-identity centric version of that, objective nature.
Exactly. And I think that in some ways will make sense to some of the characters, but will also not make sense, right? When they're splitting up treasure, you're sitting quietly expecting your fair share, but not speaking up because you know it's due and you know it'll come to you. You're very confident in your ability. So also you might have some friction when your bosun tells you something that you don't agree with. I expect a lot of fun explosions. So just know that that's an expectation that I'm putting on you.
Dice willing.
Dice willing.
I actually did want to ask on that note how to do on-site sabotage, because I'm a cache master. I know where a cache is. I know how a cache works. And I would like to, if possible, detonate their cache to scuttle their boat rather than having to lug my own shit over there.
That is something that you would definitely be able to do.
I was thinking of the idea of having a homebrewed artificer infusion.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure how the infusions work.
You know, I've already given 2 things out. I think what your character would have is a infusion or an item that you have created that you have somehow made to basically be able to cast locate object a certain amount of times a day. I'm thinking 3 times a day is a fair amount. Resetting at the sunrise, not resetting on a long rest. But I think a fun quirk that you can have is if you lose something else, sometimes you just use your thing to find it out of frustration. You're like, I'm not going to look for my wrench. And you just use it.
Where the fuck is my keys? Where did I leave my keys?
Exactly. And being able to locate another ship's cache that way, instead of having to roll for it, especially because you do have the unfortunate issue of rolling like shit consistently.
I mean, offsetting that, generally, a ship's a ship's a ship, which means the cache will be in pretty much the same space every time, which does fucking suck to get to every time.
Right.
Because if I understand, it's pretty much lower deck, center load, and like you got to go through the whole fucking boat to get there.
The other thing is, though, when you get there, there's going to be 30 barrels. Which barrel is the right barrel, right?
Yeah.
That might be something that you come across and you'll be able to know exactly which barrel. Yeah, and I mean, even if we get to higher levels and you're able to catapult something towards where you want the explosion to happen, I do want you to have a good amount of bombs as well in your inventory.
Yeah, for one of my infusions, I was thinking about having a hand mortar that fires bombs, and the hand mortar has the reloading infusion on it, but it needs the bomb. So like you avoid the reloading feat, but you have to have the grenade or the bomb to shoot at it if that's amiable to you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you have any other questions for me about your character?
I don't think so. Like there's some general equipment stuff. I wanted to use the Great Club handgun, which is just,
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Yeah. I didn't give you something that's super helpful as a magic item.
I don't think I'll need it. I built a skill monkey with a pretty specific task. I should be. Also, I'm a fucking artificer, so they have a lot of dumb stuff. I should be all right.
Mitchell,
You should be all right.
how does a great club handgun work?
Handgun, handgon, 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 handgonne. It's like a 4 to 5 foot stave that's about like a 2x2 or a 2x4. And at the end of it is a cast brass or iron barrel that is just fucking metal strapped on the end of that plank. And it is a small cannon on the end of a stick. And a lot of times they had like a spike or a bill hook on the bottom, so you could just ka-chunk them into like something or hook them over a wall. And it go boom. Touch fire to cannon, go boom once.
Love it.
And then you have a great club.
I'm here for it.
I'm obsessed with it, honestly. So
My plan is to use a harpoon and line to make a boarding line to other ships with it.
I did give everybody the opportunity to play more than one character. I allowed it. You want to tell me about your second character now?
Sure. When she pitched this, she said, I think it would be cool if some of you want to play 2 characters. So I decided. I thought, well, okay, I could make a second character, and I truly haven't fallen on one side or the other if for sure I wanted to play both characters, but I guess let me describe what the potential is, because they kind of go together. So on one side, I made Talk, and he is large and imposing, but surprisingly personable. But I imagine he's not much of a talker.
Ironic.
Surprise for a bard. Not as less of a talker as as Reyes. Just so everybody knows, I'm not going the same direction, but I'm going similar. So I thought a funny thing to go with that would be a little guy who's a fucking mouthpiece. And not exactly a Jay and Silent Bob sort of scenario, but a somewhat similar thing. So, in regards to that, I made Sox Cobaldo. Sox is a kobold who wears a big hat.
Tell me that you're not going to play the second character and I'm scrapping this whole idea. Never mind, we're not playing this game. I need Socks in it.
Okay. Well, then I guess Sox is in it. So I'll be playing two characters. Sox is... He's a longtime traveling companion of Talk, and they kind of run a bit of a grift because they are a bit of a package deal. Talk is well known to be a good helmsman, based on the rhythm that I've already discussed. And to go along with them, you need a good navigator. And Sox is his navigator. One of the things I came up with early on was that Talk doesn't speak good common, which is why he doesn't talk. Not to say like Reyes, where he's like, I don't like talking, it's uncomfortable. But he's like, I'm not super familiar with this language. I speak Draconic, this language rough for me. And so as his translator, we have Sox. So that anytime things get beyond what he can talk about, Sox will do it. He talks to Sox, Sox translates it. So Sox is with him all the time. And I truly picture Sox kicking it on his shoulder because that's how big the size difference is. Sox being not a super small kobold, but not a big kobold. And Talk being a large lizard man.
And the flat boxiness of his head is great for a map.
A lot of great headspace.
Yes, which Talk would hate, but I'm sure has happened. I think the ultimate grift is, and this is again something me and Katie had discussed, is that he's not as bad at common as he leads on, but it helps ensure that his friend comes along with him. Sox, spelt S-O-X for anybody who is taking notes, Sox is a sorcerer. And I have decided to lean into the 2024 rules here, and he's the brand new version of the wild magic sorcerer. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm actually really excited to see.
I imagine Sox is a good navigator, but at the end of the day, I think that without Talk, Sox never gets hired because Sox is a little obnoxious and just kind of represents chaos. He's got a bit of a bad reputation because he is a sorcerer and sometimes shit blows up because he's a wild magic sorcerer. So literally sometimes shit blows up. Not often.
Stay the fuck away from me.
I like to think that once he was casting a spell and it dropped an anvil just right on the mast.
Yeah.
Broke part of the sail, and ever since then it's kind of been difficult for him to get hired.
Yeah. I think that he just doesn't rub people the right way in the same way. So I think that's kind of how they make up for each other. And I also have Sox here as much smarter. So whereas not a ton smarter, but whereas Talk is not smart, but he gets along, even though technically they both are charisma based, so they both technically, I think that he's got this sort of natural charisma, this sort of people want to hang out with him sort of thing. People like Talk, he's cool. But Sox has to talk you into liking him. You will, but comes off a little hard in the front.
He wears on ya.
Yeah, you'll like him over time, but in the beginning, maybe you won't. And like I say, I see the two of them side by side a lot, even going to the point of Sox riding on his shoulder relatively frequently and being like, that way. That's what I got so far, at least.
All right.
I love that.
I also want to pitch to you one of the helmsman's tools is something called a lead line, which is almost exactly what it sounds like. It's something to measure depth. It's a long piece of rope with a lead weight. And I want to carry a lead line and I want to use it as a weapon, like a meteor hammer, because I think that would be cool.
Great. Yep. Never mind. Fuck whatever else I was going to give you. You have that. Do you have your dice picked out for your second character?
Yes.
I need 2 different sets of dice consistently.
I have a second set of dice. They're acrylic and they've got little flecks in them.
I like that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the other characters, and there's going to be some things that I'm going to tell you one person to take their headset off, and then, or 2 people to take their headset off, and I mostly will be talking to Ryan.
Perfect. I did throw this together on the spot. Right. They do not have. They don't have a name, but everyone on the ship calls them parrot. They are essentially a child green parrot, Aarakocra.
Lovely.
He's actually a skilled fisherman, fisher boy.
Even better.
Yeah, he can fish.
Yeah, no, they don't know where he came from. They woke up one night and he was in the crow's nest asleep.
Yep.
And they can't get rid of him. He just hangs around.
But he catches fish.
Yep.
He also will do small tasks around to earn his keep, but nobody, you just tell him to do something and he does it. Or do you, but how old of a child are we thinking?
I'm thinking no more than like 8 tops.
See, I was thinking no more than 9. Okay. I like it. I think.
So I'm thinking somewhere between like 5 and 8.
And they have an interesting, fishing technique that you can come up with how they fish that's interesting. And since he provides food and will sometimes swap the deck, and you can't get rid of him. He just lives there now.
Yeah, you try to go and stop him from doing anything, and he just hovers. He just flies away. Then he comes back. He just keeps coming back.
He just keeps coming back.
He decided this is home.
Yeah.
So that's where he stays. In the crow's nest.
I like it. I like it a lot. So the captain is a she. Captain Dread Malara Sineweave. She's a half-elf, rogue, swashbuckler archetype, and alignment chaotic neutral. She is tall, lithe, with sharp elven features, golden eyes that always seem to be scanning for danger, black hair often tied in a messy knot, with a streak of silver at the temple. She wears a long, tattered coat with hidden pockets full of small tools and weapons. She is a known pirate. Known privateer. She is the captain of also a very well-known ship, although the ship is well-known for interesting features that it has, not as like this Dread pirate ship, but everyone refers to as Captain Dread. Some refer to her as Captain Malara, but that is her name. She is witty, cunning, and has a big gambling streak. The gambling streak will come into play not only in ports, but you see that she will make risky decisions. She is extremely charismatic. She is ready to fight. She is rough and tumble, but she is more charming than pretty. She has scars on her face and one of those like, we'll figure it out kind of demeanors when it comes to danger. She is the captain, and her first mate is Zarek Ironclaw Grizzletooth. Everybody calls him Ironclaw. He doesn't seem to like it, but he also feels uncomfortable with people using his name, Zarek. So most people, you just go with Ironclaw. He's the first mate. He is the half-orc. He is a fighter, and he is lawful neutral. Zarek is a hulking figure standing out at nearly 7 feet tall with broad shoulders and massive muscles. Sharp tusks protrude from his lower jaw. He sharpens them. His skin is a light green, and he wears a battered but well-maintained suit of leather armor. And his most notable feature is his massive right hand, which has been replaced with a mechanical claw, hence his nickname. Things that you would all know about Zarek is that he has been Malara's first mate for a long time. He is much older than Malara, and His suit of leather armor that is well maintained is very clearly missing patches, and the weather difference from where those patches are pretty obvious. Underneath the patch is slightly nicer, and anyone that has ever seen a Primacy Navy patch knows that that's what used to be there. He used to be in the Primacy Navy. He is really good at his job. He is very no-nonsense, and he has a cool claw hand.
Katie,
I made a guy with a claw hand. I think it's pretty neat.
I would like to, as the military person, request that you refer to him properly as a former Primacy seaman.
Former Primacy seaman, yep. He is quite often the voice of reason on the ship. He is that voice of reason that Melara sometimes needs. She respects him, and she will listen to him, but if she's still in charge. But you can see it's an interesting dynamic that they have that we'll get into later. You know, it'll evolve over time, I'm sure, a little bit, and we'll see how we all...
Are they fucking?
No. Not that you would know, or that you think. He is significantly older than her.
I divined it.
Yeah, if anyone would know, it would be Ryan.
I asked, you gotta ask the stars and roll for it, and we'll come up with that later. Something about Zarek that you will notice, and probably part of the reason why we have such eclectic crew, and Zarek was kind of big in charge of who was hired. Zarek is fond of less humanoid shaped beings.
Whoa.
He feels more comfortable around people like lizard folk. He is less comfortable around humans.
Monster fucker vibes, Yas Queen.
But that also means he's very he also really loves animals. So you can see when he's dealing with humanoids, and this was something that you would have picked up in the interview process. When it comes to talking to more human-looking people or humans, he gets uncomfortable. He automatically assumes they are liars. He's definitely dealing with issues of betrayal. We'll just leave it at that. Probably something to do with those semen patches.
The seaman, yeah.
The semen.
He's got semen problems.
I've decided he likes the parrot boy.
He likes the parrot boy. It's probably part of the reason why he stays. It's because Zarek is never the one that's shooing him away. And if Zarek likes you, you're on the ship, kind of thing. The ship's cook that took the job away.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
His name, everybody calls him Grub. Sometimes you'll hear him referred to as Mr. Cluxton. He is a halfling, and he is a bard, specifically a homebrew bard of the culinary arts.
Ooh.
He is a short, plump halfling with a perpetually smudged apron. Grub has rosy-cheeked, jolly appearance, and his large round glasses magnify his eyes, giving him a perpetually surprised look. He's always surrounded by an aromatic cloud of spices and food smells, with a permanent spoon stuck into his belt. He was once a renowned chef in a prestigious city, but he became disillusioned with the rigid culinary scene. He left it all behind to join a pirate crew where he could cook the dishes he truly loved and spread joy among the crew. Though many assume he's just there to feed the crew, Grub also will sometimes make poisons for fun.
Oh.
And this is something that, you'll know pretty quick. He doesn't hide it, but he also will use different parts of the fish that are caught to make some pretty nasty poisons. So every once in a while, there will be poison or like other concoctions that you guys will be able to use against foes as well. So I will be making some rolls to have some more dynamic difference. And also I'm going to add like a food buff mechanic. Like in some video games where if you eat a good meal before a big fight, you get a buff. I'm going to add that into this just to have a little bit more, honestly, more for the ability for me to send bigger things at you with giving you these buffs beforehand. He treats every meal as an art and often encourages the crew to try new exotic dishes that he makes. He's a sucker for praise and loves to have the crew rave about his cooking. And every once in a while, he'll play some pranks. He's a little bit of a prankster, too.
Love Grub.
I have a super important question.
Yes.
that will dictate all of my interactions with this character. Does he cook with his science or his heart?
Both. It depends on what he's making.
Unnatural fuck. But you know what I mean, right? Like
Yeah.
the correct amount is what it feels versus,
Yeah, so he definitely measures garlic with his heart, but he measures, like, the poisonous spines in grams, you know?
No, I just for cooking specifically.
Oh, for cooking specifically, that's part of the reason why he left the kitchen that he worked in before.
Good. Perfect.
Because it was rigid. He wanted something that was more freeform and something where he could try things that were different.
That is why Gion hates him, because cooking is a precise science, like alchemy and chemistry.
Not to Grub. Grub cooks with his heart.
Perfect.
He's basically a comic relief character that I wanted to add in just because every once in a while, you need that. There is somebody that you guys met when you first joined the ship, but after this kind of discussion about him, we won't see him for a while. But I am just going to leave it here as the plot hook that will be important later. And somebody has to listen to the Session Zero to know about it. And that is Rook the Raven Blackthorn.
That's the ship's name, right?
He was a human hunter. He was chaotic good, and he was tall and lean. Rook has sharp features and long black hair, always kept neatly tied back. His eyes are a piercing gray, and he often wears a black leather coat with a hood that gives him a mysterious air. He carries a long bow and a quiver of arrows adorned with feathers from different types of birds. He was a former bounty hunter who grew disillusioned with the law, and after a mission went horribly wrong, he became a rogue privateer. He has a raven familiar. And you met his raven familiar, and you met him, and then he promptly disappears. And once you leave port, you never see him again until you do.
So is he like MIA? Or is he like, we wake up the next morning at sail and fucker's not there and he should be?
It's that. Fucker's not there and he should be.
Okay. Deserter.
And then they look to Ryan's character, Reza, and they go, "Get through the boats in now."
Perfect. Sounds good to me. I needed a job.
AWOL, that's what it is.
Yeah. You were originally like, if you won't hire me, then I guess I just need to go with you guys and I'll pay my passage. And then that guy went missing, which maybe some people on the ship think you killed him. But now you're getting paid. So it all worked out in the end. And that's kind of how Malara sees it as the captain. Shit happens. It all works out in the end. So.
What was Malara? She was a half-elf or a halfling?
She's a half-elf.
Okay.
So we have a half-elf and a half-orc as the captain and first mate. And then a halfling. You little guy.
Yeah, little fucker.
Because you guys have all been hired. You had your first night on the ship, and you left port early the next morning.
I do have one question. Who is my employer?
Malara.
Because the thing about Canorians is the debt is to the bill of sale,
Yes. Captain Malara is the one that pays.
Okay, so she's a private employer. Got it.
She is the private employer. This is her ship, the Siren's Call.
Yeah.
The Siren's Call is known for bioluminescence at night. It gives off this eerie glow that most ships don't give off. And it has like that air of mystical, magical, blessed by the gods or something. That's kind of like the whispers that everybody has heard. Everybody knows if you see a ship at night and it glows, it could be the Siren's Call, and that's a pirate ship.
Man, fucking sucks if you're trying to be stealthy.
Yeah, we ain't sneaking up on anybody.
Or you could just be seeing bioluminescence, or it's a ghost ship. You don't know. It's up for interpretation, but it is something that the ship has, is a bioluminescence to it.
Is that like all over the ship, or is that just like when it's in the water?
Like in the water, right?
It's close to the water. It's where where the ship meets the water leaves off a bioluminescence that obviously you can only see at night, but it is 24/7.
I did picture that in mind.
Is it like when a boat travels through glow tide? Or fucking, what is it? Not glow tide, but you know what I mean, right? The bioluminescent plankton tides where when you move through it, it leaves like the aurora sweep behind it.
Yes, and the ship will always leave that. You just only see it at night, yeah.
Yeah.
But it also makes it kind of spooky, ooky, because some people will see that and think it's a ghost ship, right? If you see it from far enough away or things like that. Those are things to look out for. If you find a ship with nobody on it in the middle of the ocean, that's fucking terrifying.
No longer requesting permission to scuttle.
Scuttle it,
Scuttling.
Scuttle it. Was that your question, Mitch, or?
Yeah, that was my question.
Okay.
Just because as a Canorian orc, if it comes up, it's, that bitch hired me. Nah. Well, technically, she hired Canoria, who hired me. So unless she gives something that contradicts the Canorian good, I would defer in all cases to her judgment.
Yeah.
But I could be hired by the boat, which would change things.
Yeah, private employer.
Yeah.
This is her ship, right? She probably won't want you to destroy her ship.
But what that means is that even in case of mutiny, Jean is guaranteed on her side because she is employer.
Yeah.
You think we're gonna mutiny?
No, but I'm just saying, like, everyone, because I've learned a lot about the Canorian, I asked Jay a lot about the Canorian orcs and stuff so I can represent them well. And that's the thing that everyone on the boat knows is she hired him. He's her man. So unless she says fuck Canoria, and even to that, to some degree, is permissible.
Yeah. Fuck Canoria in this instance is one thing. Fuck Canoria entirely is different,
You know that this guy, Jean, will do what she says, even if it's fucking stupid.
But most of the time, she won't pick things that are fucking stupid. That's what Zarek's for. If Jeff and Mitch can take off their headset real quick for me. As a Shadowcry elf, this is not your first time running into Melara. You have worked on a ship with her before, but she was not the captain. But she wasn't really working on the ship. She was just going from one port to another to pick up a new ship.
Does she recognize me?
She does not. She does not recognize you, but Zarek does. You have worked with the two of them before. Zarek is kind of like her bodyguard. You don't know why it is that he follows her or why that is so important to them, but it's almost not like they are lovers, but like he owes her a life debt. So you have that kind of like peek into it. Also, this is a really big secret that you were in on as soon as you walk onto the ship. You know that this ship is not just being propulsed by wind. This ship will still move in doldrums.
Oh, okay.
And you know that there is something else aboard this ship. You can feel it in your magical bones.
A living thing.
A living thing on the ship. You can also feel it through the wand.
Upsetting. Okay.
There is something else that moves the ship, and it also lives on this ship. You know there's another person. You never see a plate for them. You never see them. You don't know where they live on the ship. You don't know if it, you probably have your own theories that maybe the ship is a living ship, and that's why it has the bioluminescence. This is something that once you get closer with the captain, you'll probably discuss with her or try your best to find out on your own, because probably talking about secrets openly isn't something your character is willing to do. But that is something that your character immediately upon getting on the ship knows. Like, you spend the night here, you set up you're like, all right, I'm the boatswain now. Like, and I need to get to know the ins and outs of every part of the ship. And I need to, you do that, and you don't find any trace of this person, but they must exist. You're like, the way that the sun and the stars and the moon align, the life vests are on the bottom of the ocean. I don't know. But like, you're like, there's no other way that this makes sense. And I know that nobody else on the ship is capable, to my knowledge, of moving the ship in this way that it's being moved, without wind, or like it could make a sharp turn. That's something that this ship is known for, and it'll be kind of in that beginning blurb that I'm going to read out. The ship is known for also being really agile and really fast, faster than any ship, even though it is a smaller ship and that's normal, even faster than it should be. All right?
Rad. Yeah, I'm into that.
Headphones back on? The soft hum of waves crashing against the hull is the only sound that breaks the stillness of the night. The moon hangs low, casting silver light over the calm sea, but it's the ethereal glow emanating from the siren's call that truly captures your attention. The ship's bioluminescent glow dances across the water like a streak of pale, ghostly light. It's a beauty that can be deceiving. This ship may look unassuming, but beneath that quiet grace is a predator of the sea, swift and deadly. The crew is still new to you, fellow outcasts, adventurers, and opportunists who found themselves drawn to the call of the open ocean. The ship's captain, a woman known as Dread Malara Sineweave, watches from the quarterdeck. Her golden eyes gleam, a calculating gleam, as she surveys the water ahead, ever vigilant, always on the lookout for the next opportunity, or the next fight. You've heard the rumors about her, a ruthless pirate with a sharp wit and a taste for both gold and danger. But behind those sharp features lies a deeper story, one of betrayal, vengeance, and a thirst for freedom. By her side stands Zarek Ironclaw Grizzletooth, the half-orc first mate. His imposing figure commands respect, his mechanical hand a testament to the years in the Primacy Navy, now forever replaced with the iron fist of a pirate's revenge. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, it's with the authority of someone who's seen too much battle to waste words. Some say his loyalty to the captain is unwavering, but there's a glimmer of something else in his eyes, a personal vendetta against the very empire that once betrayed him. As you stand on the deck of the Siren's Call, the wind carries the scent of salt water and adventure. Your ship's crew is preparing for whatever comes next, whatever it may be. A dangerous heist, a showdown with a rival pirate fleet, or perhaps the discovery of long-forgotten treasures. The ship may be small, but its reputation stretches far across the seas. Few dare to challenge the Siren's Call. For those who do, are often never heard from again. The stars are your guide tonight, and the open ocean is your stage. But you know as well as anyone that the sea is unpredictable, and tomorrow could be But you know as well as anyone that the sea is unpredictable, and tomorrow could bring peril or promise, or both. The adventure begins now, beneath the ghostly glow of the Siren's Call. Will you prove your worth among the crew? Will you rise to the captain's challenges? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain. Life aboard this ship will be anything but ordinary.
Hey Tavern Goers! Thanks again for listening to Torchlit Tavern. Today's tale featured Mitchell Travis as Atheru, Jeffrey Lisk as Raysk, Ryan Santos as Number 9, Katie Mischief as Evelina Chopin, and Jameson Oxford as the Dungeon Master. Check the show notes to find where you can follow us on social media, or email us with any of your most pressing questions at torchlittavern@gmail.com. You can also find our entertainers on the streets of twitch.tv/torchlittavern, yelling obscenities at passersby. If you enjoyed our tale, you can tip your storytellers as you leave the tavern, which you can do via patreon.com/torchlittavern, or at ko-fi.com/torchlittavern. Every little bit helps, and those who tip well and often can find themselves privy to an extra story or two, jokes, or maybe even a bit of hidden lore. Our story continues to grow all the time, and though we have no designs on a vast empire, your help is always appreciated.
Our theme music for this campaign was designed by the bard, Brett Eagleston. Get his music at bretteagleston.bandcamp.com or find links for all his projects by following Bread Eagles on Twitter. This episode was edited and produced by Jamison Oxford and Ryan Santos. Other music and sound effects are provided by Epidemic Sound with help from freesound.org.
And if you should find yourself surrounded by eager ears and attentive listeners, remember to tell good stories.